By the time you see this video, Starfield is either a day from its official release or has already been released. Either way, I want to talk to you guys about my genuine thoughts on Starfield thus far. I will go ahead and start with a few other things I think the game did well, and the rest of the video will be things I think could use some fixing or adjusting altogether. Before we dive into the video, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button so future Starfield content can come your way. Also, go ahead and comment down below what you liked or disliked about the game so far if you've already played. For those of you who haven't played yet, if you have any questions, go ahead and put them down there as well. And with that being said, let's jump right in. Holy crap, this game delivered on the size, as it's just absolutely massive. Sometimes I would go hours without even touching a specific game mechanic just to spend hours later on that specific game mechanic. Just completely time falls away as you just are running around this expanse of a universe. So in terms of scale, it's just insane. Leveling up skills is so much fun. They implemented completing challenges to rank up and unlock other skills smoothly, and I always love a good challenge, so it adds motivation to keep doing specific tasks, as the reward is unlocking the next rank up in a specific skill. Combat is also super interesting, as AI reacts to your punches, hits, or shots in various ways, causing them to scream, shout, keel over in pain, cover their eyes, and much more. It's also always fun to find new weapons just lying around that you haven't used or even seen before. Shipbuilding is super complex. There are a lot of components with variations to them affecting different ship statistics, giving you the ability to create the perfect ship to your liking, and it's so much fun. The story is also super easy to get into, as it draws a sense of wonder and achievement, with each mission finished as it aids to the completion of something bigger without getting into spoilers. Research is way easier than I originally thought it would be. I was standoffish to it for a bit, then when I did get into it, it was like riding a bike. It was super easy and fun to finish research projects and progress. I have a PC, so for those of you who are console players locked out at 30 FPS, I do apologize for this next part because the graphics are amazing. Now, I run mine with little shadow quality as it gives more frames for those who didn't know, but I think the game looks amazing and beautiful and rich. There are a lot more things I like about the game, but I know for most of you, you want to hear the stuff that's wrong with the game and what could be improved upon and what should be changed. So these are just a few things I noticed while playing that didn't sit with me too well. Sadly, starting off, there isn't a way to make a custom background with your character. I think this is a huge missed opportunity, as I don't think it would be too difficult to implement. There is a background called File Not Found, which gives a preset of 3 skills, but I feel like those 3 starting skills should be editable. Even if you can only pick common tiered skills, I would like the freedom to pick 3 that really suit my needs for that niche roleplay experience. So Bethesda or modders, let's see this get fixed. I'm not gonna lie to you on this next one. I kind of messed up while creating my character and forgot to give him traits. Sadly, after the character creation part was over, there was no secondary confirmation if that's what I wanted in my character after the intro scene. Now, I'm not saying it doesn't happen at all, but my first playthrough, there was a character confirmation question, but replaying the game, it didn't happen again. To the main point though, there is nowhere to add traits. Once the character has been confirmed, you are able to remove them, but you cannot add or replace any, which I understand because traits affect a lot, but I wish I was still able to, since now I have a character that has hours of gameplay on it without any traits. Super sad. Next, oddly enough, you aren't able to change the brightness of the game. Like, I looked and I couldn't find a brightness setting to change, so if I'm wrong and you found it, please tell me, because sometimes this game can get really dark and it's hard to see. The flashlight is very localized and limiting in terms of sight, so it's just overall a dark game sometimes. Something I think Fallout did really well was its UI. Starfield is lacking as one component I wish made its way into Starfield was seeing 2 inventories at the same time. In Starfield, you have to click a button and switch between viewing the storage space in a container and say your own inventory. Going back and forth seems like a hassle, as it's something that was already working and seems like an overall downgrade. It's not unusable and it's not terribly annoying, it's just something I think could have been implemented better. From the hours of gameplay I have seen or just played by myself, it seems like when you randomly land on a planet, a map of about a kilometer or few kilometers will generate. Within that specific map, things will have been randomly generated around that landing area to an extent. It seems like outside of that radius in which that randomly generation occurs, you will just encounter barren land. So it seems like the best way to truly explore a planet is to land anywhere randomly on that planet and explore everything within that radius, take off and find a new landing area, repeat. I will say this process takes away a little bit from the exploration, as you become aware that only a few things here and there will be generated around your landing area. And so if you're looking to walk around for hours and keep exploring and finding amazing things, it doesn't seem like that much of an option in Starfield unless the area is directly tied to a location that had originally been there or a part of a quest or storyline. Continuing off of exploration, I'm not even going to lie, the local area maps are awful. I'm not sure if it's a skill that is later updated in the game, like for the survey scanner or something, but the local area map is just a blue landscape with very little detail. Even for huge cities like New Atlantis and Neon, there's no good way to navigate it, as the map is just basically non-existent. I definitely think this needs to be revised. Space travel isn't so much exploring and traveling in space, but more just loading and fast traveling and sometimes running into a special event or location in space. It's slightly a letdown, as I was wishing for there to just be more in space, especially if we are locked to a specific planet's local area. I feel like there should be more around. The beginning is also rough, to say the least. I'm not saying they literally drop you in the middle of a galaxy and say have fun, but I will say that the pace in which the game walks you through game mechanics is slow and ill-paced, and ultimately could feel overwhelming, especially with endless possibilities in terms of choices and places to go, things to do and explore. And this is separate from outpost building, ship building, research stations, equipment modding, and various other things to keep track of while playing the game. It just seems a bit much for those who aren't exactly experienced in deep game mechanics. Finally, sadly, I find myself enjoying something made more purposefully and small than random and enormous, giving every placement of something purpose and with cause, whereas here it's randomly generated and it doesn't feel as special. For some reason, Fallout 4 comes to mind, as it was done fairly perfectly, as whenever something was found in Fallout 4, I knew someone had left it there for me to find, whether it be a special gun or secret location or small little asset placed artwork. It was special because someone said it would be cool to have this here and for the player to find it, and I feel like that's missing from Starfield. The purposefulness that comes with exploring a handcrafted game versus procedurally generated one. Of course, I enjoy the mass that Starfield has to offer, but it doesn't change the fact that I still am missing that purposefulness that handcrafted content adds. And there's a lot more things I have thoughts on, but you'll have to stay tuned for those on another video. I think these are my biggest issues with the game so far, and I hope eventually they find resolution. But like I said earlier, go ahead and like, subscribe, comment down below if you agree, disagree, or have different opinions, or just have questions about Starfield. Feel free to click on one of those following videos, as YouTube knows best as to what you want to see, and I will see you guys in the next video.